Emily Matthews with Remax Universal, here to explain forms and procedures that you need to understand when you're going to buy a house. It's really not all that new, but there are 3 new forms since 2024. You do have to sign one of them, and there are no exceptions. Here's what happens. You sign 1 form per person per agent. So if you go crazy and call 10 agents, you're going to sign 10 forms. But if you do the right thing and contact 1 agent and pick them to work with, you sign 1 form once and that agent can show you dozens of houses. You do have to sign 1 of these 3 forms prior to the first showing, and it's best to discuss this ahead of time so there's no rushing. Here is the first possible form. I call it the door opener form because it literally allows the agent to open the door for you and there are 0 obligations. However, signing this form does not allow for discussion about making offers or very specific questions about the house because that legally is beginning the process of negotiation. So don't try to trick an agent into answering lots of detailed questions about a house or about offers because once negotiation starts, you and the agent need to understand your legal positions, and this has to be understood ahead of time. Here's the second option. This is disclosure to customers. This is an easy form. It allows the agent to write an offer. The buyer is a customer. The agent's kind of like a server at a restaurant. The offer's the menu, and you are telling the agent what you want in that offer. The agent must provide information and treat everyone fairly and honestly. The agent's legal position as a sub-agent is that their role is to facilitate the contract and get the house sold. Their fiduciary duty as a sub-agent is by default to the seller, even if they never met the seller. And sub-agency is the default position in Wisconsin. Buyer agency is the third option. This requires a buyer-agent contract. In this scenario, the buyer is a client. A buyer agency contract can be just for 1 house, or it normally can usually be about 6 months. The agent's legal position is that they're the agent for the buyer. Their fiduciary duty is to the buyer. They can negotiate for the buyer. They provide not only information but also advice, and they are allowed to ask the seller for the buyer agent fee right in the offer. Here's a proof of the choices. Here's agent of buyer or agent of seller listing firm. That's the sub-agent. This is dual agency, very rare. Some people say, well, I just want to see the house. Then sign the door opener form. But I will say, if you have already been working with an agent, just call them and ask them to arrange a showing and give them enough time to get back to you. Open houses are exempt from signing any kinds of forms. However, if you did sign a buyer agency agreement before going to the open house, let the host know that you already have an agent. Sometimes people try to say, well, what if this, or my friend's agent let them do that? Here's my question. Did your friend buy the house in 2023? We didn't have those rules then. However, if your friend found an agent that just let them in to look at a house in a private showing without signing one of these forms, that agent is breaking or bending the rules. If you want to work with someone who bends and breaks the rules, I can't say you can't, but I believe integrity is important. Here's one that sometimes people have said to me. I asked the agent questions and she or he didn't answer or didn't know, wouldn't tell me. Here's 3 possible reasons. The first one, the agent didn't know, and really nobody could know the answer to a very detailed, specific question that's not relating directly to the house. The second possibility is maybe the agent didn't know and really should have. But here is the most important one. What form did you sign? If you signed a door opener form and then started asking the agent a bunch of questions, they really can't answer unless they know their legal position. Are they a sub-agent or are they a buyer agent? Here are some examples. The buyer is a customer, the agent is a subagent. The buyer says, I noticed this, fill in the blank. What can you say about it? The agent's proper response could be, oh, I see you noticed it. Put it on a list of things you want the home inspector to pay special attention to. Next scenario, the buyer's a client, the agent is a buyer's agent. Say, I noticed something that the buyer didn't notice. I will call your attention to it. And say, we need to put this on a list to draw the home inspector's attention to it. However, in pre-agency, you start asking a whole bunch of questions. Any agent's proper response should be, those are very detailed questions and we can get to them when it comes time to write an offer. But first we need to know if I'm going to be a subagent or a buyer agent. So it's best really to meet in person or talk on the phone before we even start going out looking at houses. There's no getting away from signing at least one of these forms once. And if you find this helpful, pass it on to someone who you know who could benefit from it.
And that's it for now. This is Emily Matthews here to help you with all your real estate needs. Don't forget to subscribe. It's the little icon with my head on it. Have a wonderful day.